yet, but we're live.
Yeah.
Don't say anything incriminating.
Yeah, don't.
So I can't swear, can't incriminate.
You can swear,
can swear.
but don't incriminate.
No, you can swear, but you can't. Oh no, you can show a nipple. You're fine.
Yes,
I can't show a nipple.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a command, Lloydie.
Maybe later.
You can get Yoda on camera, and our numbers will go up.
Oh, he's been very. Hang on, let's see.
I'm very taken by Lloydie's diagram behind him.
Oh yes.
That is.
Oh, it's the grand map of improvisation. It's a few years old now, so it's not got everybody in
The
it.
grand map of improvisation.
Say hello. Say hello. He got very scared because someone came round to my house for a whole 2 hours today to do improv.
Oh no, other humans.
Oh, look at him.
Look at his big eyes.
He's such a sweetheart.
How is Yoda so small? Like, is Yoda older than Ripley?
I was going to say
Yoda's a year old. Yoda's a year old.
I really want to know about that 2 hours of improvisation, but only from Yoda the cat's point of view.
Okay. I can vocalize that for you. Who is this person, Liam? Who is this person, Liam? Why is this person, Liam, in the flat? I'm hiding from Liam. No, I don't care if Liam has dreamies. I'm not going anywhere near. No, I'm in the kitchen. I don't care if this is good scene work. I'm in the kitchen now, not coming out.
Good scene work.
And where on the grand map of improvisation was that bit?
It's just here.
Yeah,
with a southwesterly
Yeah.
improvisation coming down from here with a warm front moving in for the weekend.
Nice.
John T's in the chat, everyone.
Jill.
Say hello to John T.
Hey, John
John
T.
T.
Oh, I'm just getting the chat up on my thing.
Yes, John T. There's a guest. We will announce more.
Yay.
Hello, John
we
T. I'm a
start?
guest. Oh, how do I get
the official title?
How do I get the chat up?
So it's on the
So to speak.
Twitch. If you need a new window open, so have a look at the old Twitch stream.
/stories from the smoke room.
Yay! Oh,
so-
it'll autofill.
Adam, how far away from home are you?
About a 10-minute walk. So I'm happy for you guys to go ahead. It's not you guys that have disadvantaged me. It's me being the prick.
Well, I mean, I don't think
I'm
it's your
watching two
fault.
magpies fight a crow one day. I mean, I just seen two magpies tackle a crow midair. Wasn't fucking joy for that crow, was it? No.
I would like to say I had nothing to do with that.
Sure. Or your Corbett friends getting in trouble.
The idea was, Adam, that you were going to MC tonight.
I mean, I'm still happy to do so. Just I'm going to do it in the form of a pink square.
Tell you what he could do. He could not see.
Hey! I'll tell you what. That's the quality. That's why he's here, for quality like that.
I'll tell you what that is.
Such
That's
banter.
3 years of drama training. That is.
See, and I'll tell you this, Lloydie. He hasn't got a map of improv behind him.
Sorry?
He hasn't got a map of improv behind him. He just
No.
that was there, mate. That was there.
Spontaneously.
Some of us need to have the way guided for us. Others,
This is how
find
we
it
treat our
natural.
guests in this show. We insult them as early as possible.
This is how Dave treats everyone on this show, Lloydie. It's not just
Do
you.
you know
He treats us all terribly.
If it's any
But-
consolation, I hate myself more than anybody else.
I think at very least Adam will testify to the fact that I deal with insults much better than I deal with compliments. Compliments, I like
Very
them.
true.
Compliments, I don't know what to do with them. Insults, bring them on. I'll banter. It's fine. I don't have to deal with anything.
Adam, can you mute yourself because we're getting a lot of wind noise now?
It's a side effect of the Pfizer vaccine.
Thank you.
DJ JS Rock is in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay, JS Rock's here. How's
yes.
Texas?
We missed you.
There's news today from Texas. Is that
Wait, he's just done the DJ noise, but written out in the chat like wiki, wiki, wiki. And I just want to appreciate that.
News today from Texas is their Republican leaders have decided, yeah, you know what Texas needs? It needs it to be law that people can carry guns hidden with no background checks and whatever, they've got no training. Just anyone can carry a gun. Oh, he's saying not true. That's what the BBC said.
Really? Because do you know what? I mean, I'm probably thinking the same thing that you're thinking. When are they finally going to do that in the United Kingdom?
Yeah.
Because...
When are we going to get our concealed arms?
Yeah, what it reported on the BBC, Mr. Rock, was that
he says that you have to have a background.
It's going to be coming in. They've kind of voted it, and it's got to go to like your king, the king of Texas.
I've never known anyone so succinctly and so quickly describe that they have no idea about politics.
I've already had a background check. We've established that is the gram map of improvisation. Give me my gun.
That is amazing. So you should now legally be able to buy a gun.
Yeah.
Why can't I shoot things?
I think we need to embrace this, and like Texan trans activists need to start open carrying.
Yeah.
Just to see the confusion.
Double whammy.
JS Rock, the reason he says on the screen we're starting in a bit is because we haven't actually started yet. This is pre-show banter.
Yeah,
this is bonus material for the director's commentary.
This is like the extended Christmas special version of the podcast.
It is.
Yeah.
Adam!
Oh, there he is.
Yep.
Look at him, freshly amused.
Do you live on Coronation Street?
No.
Can you tell me how to get Coronation Street?
All the cities
It's very
Protect
windy.
your phone from the wind.
You
Put your hand around it.
Yeah.
Cup it gently like a newborn
Followed
child.
by a terrible beatboxer.
You went past a shop then, and I just wondered what that shop was like. Yeah, you've muted your mic.
Which one? The corner shop or the empty butchers?
The corner shop.
Corner shop.
We go
Roger that. Roger.
City centre.
It's fine. A little bit overpriced for what it is. My memory of it is mostly after Improv I'm buying Snickers bars.
Okay, can you get AC12 down there immediately?
I mean, I'm being a bit more fucking noisy in the game.
It does sound like it's fun. While I think
covering declaring the buffet open.
Here's one for all you lovers out there. It's the tweets and the song.
I'm just really reveling in this because it's not me that's the one that's outside doing the stupid challenge thing.
I've been watching like a wedding DJ when Dave, you were a DJ. And you
And Michael.
were and Mikey was a primary school DJ. So
yeah. We were DJs, and I've got to be honest, your mic now sounds like the first mic I had when I was DJing.
What can I say? It's these gloriously cheap £3.
Remember those Fisher Price karaoke's you?
Yeah, like that thing that it was like you sang into it and it sounded like. Yeah.
Anyway, Adam, he's muted his mic. Shall we start? We haven't officially started yet.
All right, but if we're going to start, I'm going to put it on all of my social medias.
Go.
Yeah, social media it.
Go on,
Yeah,
then. I'll wait.
Hang on. Let me log into Bebo. There we go.
Quick, get it on my screen.
Done it. It's on Friends Reunited. I've done it.
Oh, wow. Imagine how many people we're going to get from Friends Reunited.
Oh, we've had a sudden influx.
Please tell me that's what the Friends Reunion is actually called. Please. It better be called that.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Stories from the Smoke Room. You'll notice a couple of things. Yes, Adam is walking down the road. Hello, Adam. Yeah, he's muted his mic because there's a lot of wind.
Okay.
Adam's just basically being jabbed with science. So Adam is full of science juice and is, at this very moment in time,
Full to the brim of
developing
science.
superpowers. You'll also notice that Steph's not with us. Steph's busy. It's one of those things, you know, you're a teacher, you're busy. And you'll also notice that you may be thinking, Steph is there. She's just got a beard. It's not Steph. It's Lloydie, ladies and gentlemen. Hey!
Hello, thank you for having me.
He's been promoted from chat to co-host for tonight.
I think this is the biggest promotion I've ever had in my life.
This is really exciting.
If this doesn't prove that social mobility is a thing, what does?
Fuck
You've
you.
just got to try hard enough.
You've just got to work hard enough, and yes.
Couple of things from the chat, Dave. John C is annoyed about the Habbo Hotel erasure that was going on in that Bebo chat there. Let's all just take a second to pour one out for Habbo Hotel that got taken over by Nazis and has to be shut down.
Let's not pretend Habbo was a social media. Habbo was a place where 4 times ago.
I know we can't hear what Adam's saying, but I can tell you exactly what he's saying. He's talking about the swimming pool in Habbo Hotel getting taken over by Nazis.
Pool's closed.
Pool's closed.
To say they were taken over by Nazis, there was some Nazis. There were also some people pretending to be Nazis who weren't necessarily Nazis.
Also from the chat, our friend JS Rock is changing his DJ name to Science Juice, so that's exciting.
All I want to know from JS Rock is he sorting out the spare room for when we come over? That's what we need to know. You need to have a spare room.
Going to be like, oh God, what have I done? I just clicked on a Twitch channel and now I have to accommodate 5 people.
You have to accommodate 5 people in your spare room with wheelchair facilities.
With accessible facilities.
That's a wheelchair. This is...
Yeah.
Anyway, as we were.
Just backtrack a second. I was never on Bebo, so can someone explain to me this hotel that's been taken over by fascists, please?
Right, so Bebo and Habbo Hotel are separate things. So in Habbo Hotel, you made a little sort of pixely version of yourself, and you could walk around a little sort of hotel. And when you get close to people, you could chat to them like, hello, how are you? But that's not what anyone ever said, obviously.
Couldn't you just go to a hotel?
Well, yes, no, because I think that most of the people on it were probably too young to actually afford a real hotel. So they just, in their spare time, went to Habbo Hotel. And there were different rooms for different, like, oh, you know, we're a club that all like, I don't know.
H is just put in the chat. H is just put in the chat. ASL.
Yeah, I was trying to think what everyone says. Yeah. And they're like, ASL. And you're like, I'm going to invent some shit because I don't need to tell the truth to you, internet stranger.
Do you know that, Mikey? Do you know ASL?
I was just being facetious.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the term.
Kids don't do that anymore, I think. I think everyone's just...
No, it's millennials on Omegle doing so.
It's what? Sorry?
I've got no idea what he just said.
I was told this vaccine will make my 5.
Oh dear! It never frozen on screen like that if it had had Oxford AstraZeneca, but
yeah, this is what you get for having your fancy Pfizer vaccine instead of the people's vaccine. AstraZeneca.
Yeah. That's what you want. Be part of the AZ gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, having my vaccine's got to be chilled at 70 degrees. Yeah. And look at your face now, all frozen. You see? That's what happens.
Ow.
He's gone all together now.
Ow.
I don't care.
My vaccine is made for profit. No offense, Texas.
Right, this isn't getting us anywhere, is it?
Should we start with the actual element of what the podcast is like about?
We invited Lloydie along because he's a class improviser, and if you need to know how class an improviser is, he's got an improvising map on the wall behind his head.
A whole roadmap.
Where are you at the minute, Lloydie?
I am in my living room in Nottingham.
No, I mean on the map.
Where am I on the map? Currently, after getting confused in that question, I'm here, and here.
He's at several points.
Yeah.
And you've been invited on to tell us a story, Lloydie, J. Lloyd. So
yeah.
Excited.
We are very excited. There was a little bit of preamble before we went live. And we're very, very excited. So Lloydie, just dive into it, mate. Just go for it.
Firstly, like, if any of my friends, which makes it sound like there's more than one, have tuned in, then they will have already heard this story, because this is really my best celeb story. I've worked at different radio stations for 25 years since I was a mere 4 years old. Obviously,
yes.
Child labour was allowed then.
Yeah.
Totally scans, totally checks.
Absolutely, seems legit. Yeah.
Totes. And I at one particular station I worked at in Bristol in the late 90s, I used to interview lots of bands. I presented the evening show, and it was mainly pop bands, and lots of different people kind of came
You were in
through.
Bristol in the late 90s?
I was in Bristol in the late 90s.
Are you best mates with Massive Attack?
I am not best mates with Massive Attack. This turned into a guessing game really fast, and I was not expecting it.
Portishead.
I was going to say Portishead.
That's the next logical one, isn't it?
Yes.
Wasn't a Bristol-based group at all. But
Manic Street Preachers, did they come across that little bit that goes up?
They didn't. Okay, I'm going to give you. There is a second celebrity story nestled witin this larger celebrity story.
Make it a babushka of stories.
Oh, it is literally better than my actual Russian doll. Which is where is it? Where have I put my Gorby doll? I don't know where Gorby's gone. But he's usually around here somewhere. Anyway. But that's a different story about when I went to Russia and I drank champagne with the Under Secretary General of the United Nations. True story, but that's not this story.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Right, everybody make a note. We have to invite Lloydie back.
That's a different story. But
You're having him on every week.
Why am I on this show and Lloydie's not? Why am I on this if my story's about me falling over?
I think what Adam just said was all of his stories are about him falling over, and all of yours are about
this is it. Our stories are all just like rambling nonsense. You come along.
Mine are all the times I vomited
and just
on things.
throw away the champagne with Vladimir Putin.
Almost. I mean, he wasn't so much around then, but I did Sorry.
No,
carry on.
I suppose this is a thing in it with people, Dave. Like, they've all got sort of different experiences.
They have, haven't they? It's like we're all living different lives.
Yeah, and so, anyway, so I'm not going to talk about the speech I did on Soviet national television. What I'm going to do is speak about genuine, happened, 17, didn't know what was going on, really didn't. It was probably like a really bad school essay. But anyway, so years later, there I am working in Bristol, and I'm doing this evening show. And, I played lots of, dance and R&B and did the playlist, did what I was told, and spoke to lots of really interesting people. And this band came in, and they were a band, they were like a boy band from America, and they were not popular in America. And nobody knew who they were in Britain. The only place anybody knew who they were was Germany. And I just kind of did this interview because it was just another interview to do. And I didn't really think very much about it. What I did with this boy band, and I did it with a bunch of different bands as they were coming up, I would ask them questions based on a colour. There would be a Twister mat laid out in the studio, and they would all be playing Twister. And so we'd have the sound of them playing Twister whilst I'm going, it's right foot red. And Bob, what's your favourite meal to have? At the end of this,
I love that you did that in like an audio medium.
Yeah, in an audio medium. But what they would do afterwards, all the members of the band would sign the Twister mat. So by the end of the year, I had like a dozen different bands and groups that had signed the Twister mat, and I gave it away as a surprise. So this band anyway played Twister. I, enjoyed my time with them. And then I was invited a few weeks later. There was the Smash Hits tour going on. And I was invited to have dinner with them at Tang's Chinese restaurant in Cardiff, just after they'd played the Cardiff Arena as part of the Smash Hits tour. So in order to get, I still have a moderate fear of heights, and I never used to like driving over the Severn Bridge. So the day of this happening, in order to get to go and have this meal, the band I was interviewing gave me a lift over the Severn Bridge. The band I was interviewing that day was Aqua. Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
Let's go party.
I went in their tour bus. And by the way, if you're wondering why I'm called Lloydie, they recorded a little jingle for me, and they went, "We can't go, come on, James, let's go party. It doesn't work." I was like, "Oh, a couple of people in the office call me Lloydie." So the guy went, "I'll record this for you then." And he recorded, "Come on, Lloydie, let's go party." I still have that to this day. And that's why I'm called Lloydie 25 years or 20 years later.
Aqua.
Because of Aqua. So anyway, I go to this Chinese meal with this band.
Can I just ask?
Yeah.
Am I the only person who thinks the most amazing bit of this story so far is that you went over Aqua with Aqua?
Mikey wins the day. Mikey wins.
Right.
That is a complete win. So anyway, I have the loveliest meal with these guys.
Are you going to tell us who the band is?
I'm about to. The reveal's about to happen.
I'm on tenterhooks.
The reveal is about to happen. So they give me a mobile number of how to get in contact with them, because they want to send me this video of this really cool cartoon that they've seen that I hadn't even heard of, called South Park, and they think I'll really like it. So I take the number, I lose the number, which is a great shame because the band was in sync and it was Justin Timberlake.
Fuck off!
Yeah.
No!
I mean, I can go forward. Yeah, I can go.
Lloydie!
Right, two things.
Oh my god!
So yeah, that
what?
Just in Chinese in Cardiff.
I want you to tweet him and be like, "Do you remember that night in the Chinese in Cardiff?"
I really can't do.
You and me.
Why can't you do it, Lloydie?
How amazing would it be if Justin Timberlake is currently on another podcast going, "Yeah, and we gave this guy a lift over the Forth Bridge with Aqua. Took him to a really nice restaurant. He never called me back."
He never called. He never
called.
He never called.
Cry me a river.
It was probably their agent's number anyway.
It could have been me.
Wow.
What if Justin Timberlake is the thing that helps us overthrow Jimmy Carr?
It could be. Now,
Lloydie, you might have saved the day.
I've got a question, which I think everybody else has got the same question, which is, what did Justin Timberlake smell like? Because as we know, Hannah Platt has this thing about meeting famous people and smelling them.
Right, don't say it's a thing, because that makes it sound like
it's definitely
it's not a thing. It's just something that happened because of my old job.
No. Let's not pretend for a second that you were not complicit in this.
I thought it was hilarious, yeah, but the way you phrased it made it sound like a compulsion, and it was a choice.
Because that makes it better. I chose to creep these people out.
I didn't just walk up to them and go. I just as I was going by, I took note of what their scent was.
You smell like my next victim.
JS Rock reckons that Justin Timberlake smells like pineapple or coconut because his hair looks like a pineapple. So
coconut. I
feel
like
Lloydie,
he's got like a coconut oil smell.
I'm just going to say it was a long time ago, but what I do remember was sometimes artists would come in because they would be, they'd come in and do these interviews, and they'd been either in a tour bus or very often, if they were just starting on their way up, like just a people carrier for from 6 a.m. till 11 at night, being dropped off at radio station. A lot of them were understandably a bit whiffy. In Sync were not whiffy. They smelt clean.
Fresh. Like fresh linen.
So you went from that with Justin Timberlake to my first memory of Lloydie is watching you in the Y Theatre having a drunk man cry on you with happiness.
Yes.
So it's quite a
it's all relative. Let's not assume that night in the Y wasn't equally as magical.
For me,
You know what?
it was amazing because I got to see Lloydie's okay face.
It was you know, when you're just not because I was there in my capacity as a radio manager at the time. We were always looking for, people who wanted to, intern, come in, who showed promise. And this person had done was clearly doing some brilliant stuff at, I think it was Demon, the student radio station. Lots of people had already spoken about them. And then they were spoken about in the video. And I asked from the stage, who is that? Because they referenced our radio station several times. And I just pointed at them in the audience and I said, right, you're coming in. We're going to get you to record a demo. And I'm then going to listen to it. And rather than them going, oh, that's an amazing opportunity, great, they just sobbed. And wouldn't stop, and then afterwards, sobbed on my shoulder, and I was there going, "I don't know what I've just done. I thought it was a nice thing." And in fact, they did end up. They were interning for our Drive show, and our Drive presenters absolutely loved having this person as an intern as well because they were incredibly good. So
they are at Radio Leicester now. I mean, it's a lovely story. It's a lovely story, but that was my first. It was this face from Lloydie when I first saw him. We were in different worlds. I was behind the bar, he was in front, but you were kind of going, okay. It's as if to go, oh, I didn't expect. Oh, this is happening. Good. Lovely. Good. Fine. Good.
When you constantly check in with reality and go, no, that's still happening. Oh no, and it's happening while I'm part of it.
Oh no, that's a thing I'm here.
Lovely.
Good.
So in your profession as radio guru, what other famous people have you bumped into? Let's dig some dirt up. Who's the nicest person you've ever met, and why is it Michael Paley?
Well, I mean, look, when I went on a promotional flight with him, what happened? No, that's not happened. That's not happened.
Me and Palin in the back of a taxi, swapping stories.
6 degrees of Lloydie.
Yeah, you're a useful person, Lloydie, because 6 degrees of separation gets much easier.
Yeah, now I know you. I now am linked to Justin Timberlake, and that opens up a lot of people for 6 degrees. So, has Justin Timberlake worked with Kevin Bacon?
I would have thought so.
Because if so, then we have all just got an amazing link.
Boom, 2 degrees.
It's weird because the majority of people I meet, not just celebrities, just in life, and most people I meet are not celebrities, but the most people I meet are just nice and lovely people. Everyone's kind of walking through the world doing their best, aren't they?
I know.
Yeah.
I know we've only known each other for about 25 minutes, but I think you're great.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
I think you're great too.
Can you send me pep talks? In the form
motivational.
Just open every morning and just
We think you're great, and it's not because you might still have Justin Timberlake's phone number.
That's so reassuring to know. Putting that caveat there makes me think that it's definitely not because of that as well. That's the reassuring bit of that sentence.
Questions are being asked about my "Give Me Justin Timberlake's mobile number" shirt that should have been answered by my. Yeah.
So, who is the nicest person that you've met, celebrity-wise?
Gosh,
there's a question.
Hard.
It is really hard. Okay, have a think.
Can I have a little think?
Yeah, have a little think. Who's
we don't mess around here.
Yeah. We put you on the spot, mate.
Do you know who mine is?
You're earning your money tonight, and you're not getting paid.
Do you want me to fill time while Lloydie thinks?
Who's yours? Yeah.
Well, have I told you the story about when I helped Celia Imrie ice a birthday cake?
Tell me everything.
How has this not come up?
Well, because it's not a very long story.
Every week you go, I have no stories, and you can't just drop this in.
But it's not a very long story.
Fine.
It's just nice because when I was working in the theatre bar, Jonty just did the gayest gasp at his words. I was working in the bar at the theatre and they were rehearsing Hay Fever there, and she was playing the main character, and I was there like sweeping up one day because the cafe was open like during the whole day, and then I did the bar shift in the evening when the show was on, and she came down. She appeared with like this Tupperware box, and was like, "Oh, could you? I don't suppose you could help me." And I was like, "Yes, anything. Let me, please. Then I can stop mopping." It was the guy in the cast's birthday, Josh, who I've forgotten his other name now, but he pops up in things on telly sometimes.
Mostly crime.
I'll remember. He's got curly hair. He's really nice. It was his birthday and she'd made him a cake, but she hadn't had time to ice it. And she was like, there's nowhere for me to like hide it upstairs. Could you hide it for me? And I'll come back later and ice it and then give it to him before we finish. And I was like, yes, I will do this thing for you, Celia. So I like took her little Tupperware thing and like hid it under the counter and like put things over it so no one would like sell it to the public or something. Yeah, she came back and I found her a palette knife and I got one too because it was quite a big chocolate cake and we were like spreading all the buttercream over, which she had in a separate Tupperware, and covered it all over, and she was very thankful and she was very nice that I'd helped her. And I helped her put the candles in.
How many candles were there?
I love that.
I was gonna say for the Texans in the room. Can you explain Celia Imrie?
Imagine the most British person that you've ever.
But without the racism.
But without the racism.
Yeah.
A pleasant British person.
Yeah.
Imagine Judi Dench, but not Judi Dench.
Yeah, she's like a bit younger than Judi Dench. Yeah.
She's that sort of vibe.
She's like one generation down from Judi.
Yeah.
Imagine Judi Dench. Imagine Judi Dench's anarchic sister, and then I think
you know what? She really needs that on her website, doesn't she? Celia Imrie, Judi Dench's anarchic sister. That's.
You know what? She was doing that play, and she had to leave after a couple of weeks because she got Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. And she was like, sorry, theatre, got to do a film with Judi Dench. That's what made me think of it. So they had someone else come in and take over from her.
Wow. I was once in London.
Shit.
And yeah.
You were what?
London. And I was round by the Globe Theatre. And I looked at my mate and I went, oh, look. There's David Gray. Do you remember David Gray?
What?
Yeah, right. The trouble was, I was walking down some steps at the time, so I went, oh, look, David Gray.
And fell
down these steps.
Oh, no.
That's amazing.
Sounds like an Adams story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does like to fall down.
So, I have...
Never fallen down steps, though.
I've fallen down
That's
steps.
not true, I have done.
In fact, that was...
Did you fall? But it would have been worse if you fell and like tumbled into David Gray.
No. He was
like,
at a distance.
That would have been...
He was far enough away to
you
appreciate...
took David Gray out.
No, he was far enough away to appreciate the fall and laugh at it.
Nice.
So, yeah. White Ladder, that was it. Well done. Yeah, White Ladder.
All
that was actually
you could sing the words to all his songs to all his other songs because they've got a very similar.
That was a fairly disastrous weekend, actually. We stayed in this hotel, in proper dodgy hotel in London, and we had our breakfast in the hotel, and it was really funny because there was some Japanese tourists there filming the breakfast bar, right?
I've seen that.
Yeah, and the chef came out and went, "No, you're not allowed to do that." Right? I now realised why. It was so that they couldn't gather. It was so they couldn't gather evidence, right? Because we had that breakfast. Later that day, we were on a boat trip up and down the Thames, and I just looked at my mate and went,
did you have the...
"Oh, I've just shit myself."
Yeah, like...
Went into the toilet.
Did you say it in that exact voice?
He was
because that feels like quite a casual way of going, "Oh, I thought you were going to go, oh, that's a pleasant landmark that we just went past on the boat."
I've just shit myself.
Oh, golly, I filled my pants with...
I've just remembered. I need to buy biscuits on the way home. I've just shat myself. Like, they're not in the same level of...
There's not much more you can do when you shit yourself, though, is there? You've just got to kind of...
just got to mark the occasion.
So dashed into the
toilet. Not the only thing he's marking.
Clean myself up as best as I could. And I said to my mate, I went, that was the breakfast. I'm sure that was the breakfast. Be careful, because we both had the same breakfast. And it's like, if you think you're going to fart, go to the toilet. Don't risk it.
Don't risk it.
Sure enough, on the train coming back, my mate went, "I'll be back in a minute." Come back and he went, "You're absolutely right." He says, "I've just farted and shit shit everywhere," but fortunately he was in the toilet. So that's why, I haven't gone to that. I haven't gone to that hotel.
Still a high class.
It's very highbrow over
high
here.
class production.
I
think very high.
I shit myself so others don't have to. I think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you did take that one.
You're not. Yeah, but you're not doing their shit.
Yeah, but I'm saving them a lot of hassle.
I don't know if we want to get into
It's the most charitable. It's the most charitable thing I've ever done.
Are you really? Because I'm going to need counselling after this.
I also, on another trip to London, thought I bumped into Paul McGrath.
Did you?
Well, he was the ex-Aston Villa midfielder, I think. He was a bit of a legend.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Thing.
And he did look just like Paul McGrath. And even to the point where, like, I'm sitting there thinking, that looks a bit like Paul McGrath. And then my mate is sitting next to me and goes, "Is that Paul McGrath?" I'm like, "I think that's Paul McGrath." Paul McGrath had a few issues with drink.
I'll be back in 1 second, sorry.
And this guy was drinking. Oh, no. So I thought maybe he isn't, you know, because when people have had problems with drinks, they tend to stop completely, don't they? But he was with this woman who was obviously his partner. And they ended up, we were trying to get a groupie shot of ourselves. And this woman, this man, supposedly Paul McGrath, went, "I'll take it if you want." I went, yeah, please do. And his partner come in and got in the picture, and it was all. And then I got my phone back off him and went, "Are you Paul McGrath?" And he went, "No." I went, "You really look like you're Paul McGrath."
What? You asked him for a photo?
No. He took it. We were trying to get a group shot, and we could. My arm wasn't long enough, so he did it for us.
I was going to say, I thought you'd be like, "Oh, can we have a photo together?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." He's just some guy.
You're Paul McGrath. And he maintained that he wasn't Paul McGrath, but I think he was. And I did say to him, I said, "Look, I'm a Wolves fan, and I'll tell you now, if you are Paul McGrath, I think you're a fucking legend."
So that person had a really weird day. Let's just admit that straight off the bat. So someone went, "You like someone who is mildly, let's say, like a D-list celebrity." They went, "Okay,
don't call Paul
McGrath. If you were this person, we'd love you.
Don't call
but you're
Paul
not
McGrath
that person.
a D-list celebrity,
So,
for God's sake."
I mean, okay,
it's Paul McGrath.
DZ. What?
Lloydie, who's the nicest celebrity that you've ever met?
I've done 4 categories.
Right. Okay. Good.
I can't tell you how much I love you, Lloydie. Not tell you.
One of them I didn't actually meet, but I interviewed down the line. But it remains the interview that I was most glad to get ever. And I'll come to that last. So I've done funniest, nicest, most charismatic, and most glad to meet.
Oh, it's like an award ceremony. Yes, please.
I'm enjoying this already.
And the winner
Lloydie, can I just say, Lloydie, if you decide to do a podcast or a stream on Twitch on a Tuesday night, I'm quitting this one and watching yours.
You don't dare quit this one. I'm a regular viewer.
We could do plugs for Lloydie's podcast at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, please. Need the listeners. Not desperate.
You could call it Latin with Lloydie and it would be glorious.
Oh, stop it, because you know I'm not good with compliments. I much prefer insults.
Just batting them away like, no, I refuse to hear them.
Feels really weird. Stop it.
No. Okay, what's top of the list?
Yeah, come on.
So funniest. That was a really glorious interview with Charlotte Church. I brought her on stage to do the first ever performance in public of her pop stuff, which was Crazy Chick at the time, and then interviewed afterwards on a sofa.
Tune.
Oh, it was a great tune, wasn't it? And she was just funny, and we just had a laugh, and it was just it was glorious.
I've always thought that, watching Charlotte Church being interviewed, she's a genuinely funny person.
Oh, like proper, like great timing, like just knew how to give a great answer to a question, like interviewer's dream. Nicest is really hard. I can't, like I say, I like most of the people I interview. The one that I've kind of got on most with, I suppose, and that I like still see from time to time is the lovely, wonderful celebrity hypnotist Paul Mckenna, who used to work in radio. So we kind of bonded over radio.
That's amazing.
So the two of us just basically nerd out whenever we see each other, and it's super fun. It's just two people eating curry and nerding about radio.
That sounds wonderful.
And he is like completely without pretension and just wants to be a nerd, and so do I. So
it's really popular. Like I remember watching like Paul Mckenna on TV all the time, and like in the 90s. Yeah. Like it was quite a big deal, right?
He was massive.
Yeah.
It's Paul McKenna, and then sort of the American version, but not really because it was a bit different.
I think
Edward.
I think he hypnotized everyone to forget about his career.
He just wanted to disappear into the forest.
He wanted a quiet time. That's it. I would too, to be fair.
I mean, he's become huge in like self-development. His books sell millions, and what I love about him is all he wants to do is go have a curry and nerd out about radio, and so do I. So we do.
And it's so nice.
Just lovely man who I have all the time in the world for.
All I suggest is next time he goes to the toilet when you're having a meal, have a sneaky look at his phone, because I reckon he has got Justin Timberlake's phone number.
That's a good point.
It somehow does work back round to like you befriending Justin Timberlake.
We're going to have to do a part 2.
Yeah.
When talking to radio people, does this still work? Lloydie, when talking to radio people, does this still work? Because it used to, when I used to chat to them on occasion, would say this phrase, and it would always make them really happy, which is radio. It's just the most visual medium.
Oh yeah, that instantly makes a radio person happy. Fucking love it. Yeah.
And they'd all 100%. Go, "You're so right. You're so right." Admittedly,
the art form.
They all did work for Radio 3, so it makes sense why that was their response.
It is the theatre of the mind.
It is.
Like they were the sort of radio producers who all wore like black turtlenecks. Always.
Yeah, that's what we exclusively wore at Bournemouth University when we did radio production. We were marked on editing quality, content quality, preparation, and whether we were wearing a black turtleneck that day.
Sometimes very dark blue.
Oh. You little cheeky navy, so and so.
So
one's weird.
I should be able to say with some certainty, Lloydie, that you've edited with 1/4-inch tape, a Chinograph pencil, and a razor blade.
Yes, I have.
Oh, cool. That's editing. Computers.
Oh, do you know what? I wouldn't go back to it for any money.
No.
My job is computers.
I feel so alienated right now. Somebody explain.
Oh, Mikey.
Are you editing or doing a smart? I don't. It's what I made earlier.
Dave, you genuinely hate any technological advancement, though.
I do, pretty much. I think it's because I've been working with computers for so long, and my entire working day consists of technology not working, that I'm more than happy to go back to stone tools.
Yeah, it's just kind of you're oversaturated with it.
Do you want a mini celebrity story of me editing on 1/4-inch tape?
Yes,
this is
always.
a complete sidebar. But in my very first job, I was a very junior producer at Classic FM, and I was editing a feature show. That was someone who was very lovely. On my first day, Toya Wilcox, the 1980s pop star, was popped in.
Yeah, she comes across.
But anyway, that's a different one. Oh, she's just done a thing for us on Fun Kids.
You're doing the little Russian doll thing.
I'm Russian dolling it again.
Kind of drop in the fact that Toya Wilcox has been really nice to you. Because the moment my dad and mum find out, they're going to find you and demand they hear her story. Because they saw her live like 2 years ago. In a pub in Ironbridge.
A recent Wilcox.
And Toya Wilcox is owning social media at the moment. Her and Robert Fripp are just like, because Robert Fripp, he plays guitar, doesn't he? I saw him live once. I think in a 1-hour show he strummed the guitar 3 times. I think there were 3 chords. Because he's just like.
Okay.
I thought you'd frozen then, but you were just doing a dramatic interpretation of it.
But
Sorry,
then Toya sorted him out. So Toya's gone, no, you're going to learn to play Nirvana. So he plays Smells Like Teen Spirit. Toya sings to it. They're owning social media at the moment.
That sounds great.
Question.
It's the mystery.
Question. Who is Toya Wilcox? Who is Robert Fripp?
Toya Wilcox go everywhere with Mick Fleetwood just for old time's sake. Remember in the Brits in...
that was Samantha Fox.
Yeah.
That was
the other...
It wasn't Toya Wilcox.
Short blonde. Yeah.
Mike.
Hey now.
It would have really worked. It would have really worked.
Sorry, Lloydie. Toya Wilcox.
So that's anyway, she was one of 2 recordings that we did that week. The other for the feature was Felicity Kendall, but that's not the point. The editing story was I'm there just editing with razor blade and tape this feature show, going bum bum bum, and what I used to do on the windowsill, like above me, looked into another studio. I would little bits that I edited out in case I wanted to put them back in. I would take the bit of tape and use the little splicing tape, and I'd stick it to the upper part of the windowsill, so there'd be all this tape coming down. And so it was covered in tape for this particular feature. And I was looking for a bit.
I was just thinking about how I do that now, but I just press Control X and that does that for me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
How? I don't know how. So I parted this little curtain of tape, and at the other side of the window, waving through at me, was Joan Collins. And I was like... I just took the bit of tape that I needed, let the little curtain close again, and carry on editing. I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that.
Like when you go into like the rainforest house at the zoo through those little flaps, and you're like, Oh no, I don't like that.
It was like the shittest version of Through the Keyhole ever. No.
We're looking through the tape. Who would you say is your? Because everyone has like a radio idol who works in radio that they like heard when they were a kid and went, "That's what radio should sound like." Who's your that?
That's a hard question.
It's difficult because
it's a real question. I kind of hate it.
There have genuinely been several. I think when I was growing up and a teenager, there was a guy who no one will have heard of. I don't think. He was on a Kent radio station called Invicta Radio that I listened to growing up. He did the evening show. His name was Neil Taylor. He just listening to him was what made me want to go onto the radio. And I did meet him several times as like a proper child anorak, who's the parents take you to the radio station. You are wearing the least fashionable clothes at 14 and
a shell suit.
Yeah, and the radio DJ lets you sit in the studio for half an hour, and that's your birthday treat. And you couldn't be more fucking happy about it. And that was my 14th birthday, and I took my best friend, and I just feel, looking back, my poor best friend, he had to go on a trip to Kent to sit in a radio studio for half an hour. I mean,
you just sat there looking at all of the buttons like,
yeah. Whereas for his birthday, we went like on a zip wiring thing and did all of the cool stuff. I'm like, how did the poor guy?
No, I think live your truth. I think that's a good thing.
I mean, I did.
I'm getting so many flashbacks to my DJ deck reveal on my 8th birthday. Just like, I'm with you, 100%. Yes, twirly buttons. And
JS Rock, DJ Science Juice. He's going a bit wild in the chat with the questions. Have you ever met Casey Kasem?
Oh, legend. I've never met him, but what legend. Absolute legend on so many levels.
Am I right in thinking Casey Kasem did the voice of Shaggy?
Shaggy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Voice of Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, and did the American Top 40. And is
an absolute legend.
Yeah.
Well, what you won't know, JS Rock, is over here we used to get the American Top 40, and it was presented by Casey Kasem. That's how we know Casey Kasem in the UK was. It was all those songs those Americans are buying, which must mean they are really good.
Must mean they're really cool.
Yeah. And also he's the voice of Shaggy.
Oh, I mean, absolute legend. There is
Scooby-Doo, not the one who said it wasn't me.
No.
Yeah.
The other
not Mr. Love.
Not him.
Would have been a very different song, wouldn't it?
Who on your feet?
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I think you just made Michael choke. Mikey, you all right? Mikey, are you all right? You don't want to be responsible for a death of a man in a wheelchair. Again.
Again? Not again.
Oh, fuck.
Quick!
Just take a second, Mike. You got
Someone fetch Molly.
I hate every single one of you. What am I doing? Remember, you struck an arena this.
He did he? DJ Science Juice also asks how good I am at subnetting. Yeah, I can do it. I can do subnetting, so there you go. I don't because
humble brag.
Yeah. I don't because why would you? Just type in subnet calculator into Google. Writing down loads of ones.
Yes. I also do
that. Wait, what are you calling? I'm calling you DJ Science Juice. Is what I'm calling you.
Yeah, you adopted that name for yourself. Yeah. You can't then.
Hold on, we were doing an awards ceremony about an hour ago.
Oh God!
We did it at the end.
Let me find the envelope.
Quick, get the envelope, quick.
It's as if we naturally just. Sorry.
Yeah.
And the award for most charismatic person I ever met.
Yeah.
The late great Paddy Ashdown.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah, I see it.
Wow.
You're going to have to explain Paddy Ashdown to the Americans.
Okay, he was.
How do you explain the concept of Paddy Ashdown?
Okay. Well, what one does is he used to be in the military. He was in the special. He was a commander in the Special Boat Service, and it was very unusual for someone who had not been privately educated to get to the rank that he did. And then he was a social worker for a while, and then he became a Liberal MP. Later, the Liberal Democrats, and became the leader of that party. Then, after that, he was High Commissioner of Bosnia-Herzegovina. So, or is it Bosnia? I can't remember. Anyway, he did a lot, and there was something about him. I met him years and years and years ago, but he was one of those people. Oh, hello.
My Tesco's order has arrived.
Oh, congratulations!
Luckily, I'm busy, so the person who owns this house.
You could just type it in the chat. She's here.
Oh, good. She's watching. Tesco time.
So, politician, yes. Politician.
So, he was more than a politician. He did a lot of other things, but at the time I met him, he certainly was. It was one of those weird things where someone walks into the room and my back was to the door, and you just felt the room change. It's like, oh, someone important's here, and I've seen him.
Has arrived.
I once watched him, and he was just in a sweater and jeans and what have you. I watched him talk to a room packed full of people, and he was just with a chair turned around, he's got a jumper rolled up, and he was talking just about international affairs and stuff like that. I never saw him speak with notes, and he was just talking to people, and everyone was hanging on his every word because everything he said mattered or was interesting or he had a good story, and I was like,
I bet he's got anecdotes for years. I bet he's got all the anecdotes.
Have you got his phone number?
That's not because he did die a couple of years ago. So
he did. Have you got a Ouija board?
We'll bring him into that spiritually.
I'll look into it.
Paddy Ashdown's one of the few politicians who everyone likes. You don't meet someone who goes, ugh, Paddy Ashdown, yuck. Everyone across the spectrum is oh yeah, that guy was the shit. He was great.
Yeah, he's absolutely the sign of the good old times of politics when people were nice and the Liberal Democrats had MPs. I'm sorry, Lloyd.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
I'm
sorry. It was such an easy low blow.
Oh dear, so low. I mean, it would be helpful if it was true, like it was in the 1960s. But you know, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it with the grace that Paddy would have done, and he would have.
Yes.
He would. He was able to kill a man with his bare hands due to his military training. So.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm literally a member of Plaid Cymru. I've got none. So
no comment.
In the chat, it's beautiful because DJ whatever he was, what was it now? DJ Science Juice has got no idea what the fuck we're talking about, which is completely understandable.
It's only going to get worse on this list.
And so. Jonty's translating. It's beautiful.
Oh, Jonty, thank you.
Can we do just a read through of these comments because they deserve to be shared?
Yes, go ahead, Adam.
Hannah, do you want to be JS Rock and I'll be Jonty because I'm very British.
Do you want me to do a Texan accent?
You can do an accent and I'm very posh.
Oh God, can I just apologise, DJ Science Juice?
No, I'm going to try. Who's a Texan person I can copy? Wait.
Just put in the chat. Oh dear.
Oh no, I don't think I can do it.
Do just a generic American.
Okay, I'll just do generic. Generic. Yeah. Wait. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to think of things that John Wayne says, like, fill your hands, you son of a bitch. Okay, right, I've got it. I'm ready. I'm sorry. I'm ready.
Oh
from? I've scrolled too far
you get all these things of these actors who say, "No, I was trained in how to speak like this for 6 months and never come out." Hannah Platts comes up and goes, "Get off your horse! I got it. Let's go."
They call me one take Platts in the business because I don't fuck about.
Right. Go.
Okay. Where are we going from?
I think we go from Tesco time.
Okay, I've got it. Lol, what is a Tesco? Sorry.
It's a supermarket.
I feel so stupid. Oh, okay.
British translation bot enabled.
Please, lol. Because you guys said for me to think of the most British person I know, and I was like, you guys are my first British people I've interacted with.
The Lib Dems used to be the third largest party in UK politics.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I watched Doctor Who, and I've eaten jammy Dodgers and Jaffa cakes, and that's as far as I've gone. No fucking idea.
Look, a disastrous time as part of the coalition destroyed its credibility.
I think that's it.
I think that'll do. I enjoy that down how we've been given Dolly Parton, so that's quite nice.
Dolly's not Texas, is she? Wait, is Dolly from like?
Yeah, she's
Tennessee
from
or somewhere.
Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee.
Oh, I should have gone up in my register, and then I'd have got it. God damn it! I should have done it from up here where Dolly is.
Oh dear me.
What a fun time we're having this evening.
Indeed. May I correct a slight factual?
I thought you would do because there were a couple.
Yeah, the both in the last general election and in the elections earlier this month, the Liberal Democrats remain, in terms of number of votes cast, the third party.
Yeah,
in British
I think
Because this country needs ridiculous, over-reaching electoral reform.
And only we can deliver it. So
yeah, we need
it's
to
never happened.
representation.
So please give us
now.
all your votes and all your money. Thank you.
JS Rock, in your next election in America, vote the Liberal Democrats.
Yeah, if you could, be great. Send us some of your votes.
We've heard you've got surplus stored in your voting machines. So could you send some over here, please?
So you know those votes that they kept saying, count the votes. We'll have those and count them here.
Yeah, could we have your extra one?
Yeah.
I think we all know we're getting distracted here. Lloydie,
yes.
I want to know the third nicest person you ever met. I've forgotten what that category was. I'm assuming cuddles.
Yeah, what was the last one?
It was. Can I just correct the cooperative party thing as well? It's a joint ticket. It's a joint ticket. They have to be a member of the Labour Party as well as the cooperative party. So it's a joint ticket. It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
It's fine. You're right.
I'm sorry. I'm getting very upset.
I know. Let's just step back from it.
There's nothing in this class.
One day the Tories will just fucking stop. Yeah, it's going to be fine.
I'm feeling okay again. I'm feeling okay.
Okay.
Think of Paddy. What would Paddy do?
What would Paddy do?
WW.
Yeah,
Paddy's rolling up the sleeves on his jumper. Oh, there he is.
WWPD, just tattooed across his chest.
Paddy's thinking about that time when he probably killed a person with his bare hands.
Oh, classic.
I imagine.
But just to say, they're whipped the same. They're whipped the same, so they're the same entity in the House of Commons. So anyway, moving on. The person award. I was the award. Sorry. I'm okay now. I do love you, the ancient John. I do love you.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I just get very emotional about this. The celebrity who I was most glad to meet, #didn't meet, did an interview down the line with.
It was glorious.
It was glorious. I was given literally 10 minutes notice, which I was fuming about because I'd asked to be given plenty of notice so that I could do a decent interview. I think I just about got away with it. And that was the late, great Victoria Wood.
Oh my God.
You know what? Normally I hate it. I fucking love it when you do. Because you don't just... was great.
JS Rock, if you want to know the most quintessential British English person, Victoria Wood.
Victoria Wood.
Yeah.
Google a bit of Vicky Wood.
Just absolute.
Dream, the legend.
Please describe in detail.
Was she funny? Was she really funny, Lloydies? Please
No,
tell us that
I
she
don't.
was
I don't.
funny.
I don't want to know if she was funny, but was she just warm?
Do you know what I was?
Your little face.
Was she like an electric blanket, Lloydie?
Oh,
Was she like a cup of tea and a duvet?
I was genuinely warned beforehand
Was
that
she
just
like
had
that bit of toast when it goes soft just after you've put the butter on?
Do you want to do a few more similes while I top up my glass? Because I can just top this up
was
and
she
then come back.
like hot butter melting through crumpet holes?
If you do one more, I'm just going to pour myself another drink.
Was she like that noise that cats make when they're asleep?
We've similated a man off. We've similated him off the stream.
We've only been on an hour, and we broke him.
Can I just say that is the best question I have ever heard? It's just come into the chat.
What's a crumpet hole?
I mean, I'm now calling it one of them.
Jonty was there like wildfire. Crumpet is a type of baked good.
Thank you for being the translation bot, Jonty.
This is amazing.
You did a wonderful job.
Does that mean with all the wonderful things they have in America, they haven't got crumpets?
Yeah, I've never understood that either, really.
But they eat cheese from a can. Boggling.
Although they don't. No, they're like. No, they're not sweet.
No, it's like a breakfast. It's so like it's just a breakfast bread that's like a circle with lots of holes in. You put butter on the top and it melts through.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Mwah. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
It's so hard to describe a crumpet, isn't it?
It is. It is so hard to describe a crumpet.
It's like space bread.
It's spice bread. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's the sort of bread that astronauts would eat.
Yeah.
It's sort of.
Sorry, I had a
sort
cat
of trumpet
situation.
in its sort of texture because it bounces a bit. Sort of
Yeah, you're right.
bready, crumpling.
Oh God, that's a crumpet.
Yeah.
Yay!
You don't find me without a crumpet.
So a biscuit, no, because it's like soft. It's like bready.
No, it's like doughy.
Yeah.
You put it in the toaster.
Oh, okay, you can put it in a toaster.
How do you do a crumpet?
Under the grill. I've always done it under the grill.
Yes, if you've got a grill. Not everyone's got a grill.
Anna, did you not say earlier that you were house sitting?
Yeah.
Did you bring your own crumpet?
I have to eat while I'm here. I'm here for a week.
It does look.
I bring my own crumpets everywhere I go. I need them near me.
Oh,
anyway, that's
me.
a crumpet.
Right.
And you put butter on it, and the butter melts into the holes, you see, so the butter goes through.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, yes. Victoria Wood.
Oh, yeah! Shit! What is she like? Forgot about that.
Yes, you toast them. Yes, you toast them.
Do you know what? I was warned before the interview with her that she'd been a bit frosty with the team beforehand. So I was interviewing her. This was while I was in Bristol. I did most of my good interviews while I was there many years ago. And she'd done an interview with the team in London, at Hart, I think it was. And they'd had a bit of a rough interview with her. She apparently had seemed a little uninterested. So I was like, oh, right, okay. Oh, they say never meet your idols. Maybe I shouldn't do the interview. But obviously I did because, it's Victoria Wood. And I think it was because I made it clear that I knew her work very well.
Right.
Because early on, I said, what's the favourite sketch of yours that you've written? She went, what's yours? And I went,
God, like a test.
And I was like, "Oh, that's really easy. It's the scene in the Italian restaurant where you're with Julie Walters and not that one. I said it's the one where you're discussing an ex, somebody who's had an affair, and you say, "What's their song?" And Julie Walters goes, "I don't know, but they must have been having it a long time because their song's chirpy, chirpy, cheep, cheep." And it's just absolutely brilliant. And she at that point giggled, and she said, "Oh yes," she said, "people used to ask us if about the wigs for that and whether they were deliberately bad." And she was like, "No, they were just cheap wigs. We didn't have very much money to spend on them." And then was giving me these stories, and then she said her favourite was Two Soups that she'd written.
Two Soups.
And from that moment onwards, because she knew that I knew and liked her work, she was a delight, an absolute delight.
Love her.
Loved her work.
What's everyone else's? Oh, go on, Mikey.
Quick story. So we were, I was about 8 years old, and it would have been like one of these garden parties, one of these sort of gatherings in the summer. You get you're around houses. So I was called out for garden, and family said, "Come watch. We're going to do something. Come watch it." And they loaded up the computer, and what followed was without doubt the most informative 3.5 minutes of my life, and that was Let's Do It.
Nice.
And that still remains. Like, that was the first bit of grown-up comedy I ever watched as a kid.
Oh wow!
Oh, don't ever forget.
That's a good introduction to grown-up comedy.
I think mine's probably Monty Python, something like that. But yeah,
I think the cross-channel swimmer with no preparation and the parents don't care if she drowns. That's my favourite. Because it's so dark. It's like, this is very funny. She hasn't been seen in 3 weeks. You're like, what?
Yeah, it's just like the wave, like, oh my God.
It's the absolute perfect, like, epitome of British humour of like, oh, this is going to go very well. Oh no, they've all suffered.
And Victoria Wood, of course, married to the great Soprendo.
She was, yeah.
So now, can someone describe the great Soprendo to...
Jonty's just said Dinner Ladies is an excellent example of continuous narrative in sitcom ever.
Without a doubt.
It's like perfect, isn't it? Dinner Ladies. Like if you want to be like, this is a sitcom, like all the characters are perfect. Like it's just like, I love it.
Also, I've got a lot of love throughout the Chippy.
Say that again, Mike.
As a sketch. I've got a lot of love throughout the Chippy as a sketch.
Yes!
Where...
that's
just so
hilarious.
I used to like those ones with Patricia Routledge as well.
Working class Friday night, isn't it? Like how the Chip Shop is the pinnacle of the highlight of the week, and it's the weekend, and it's just like it's just a musical.
Yeah.
If that was in the West End, you'd be watching it thinking, yeah, fair enough. That's a solid number, that is.
DJ Science Juicer said she has a pretty voice and she smiles with her eyes. Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
That's just lovely.
It is lovely, isn't it?
Nice.
We're all getting a bit teary-eyed about Victoria Wood now.
Just love her.
Also,
it's like the idol of like everything.
Is there a better rolling up of sleeve in the world of stand-up comedy?
Yes!
Yes!
Just that kind. Yeah.
It's when you think about the stuff that she was great at.
Right. Where are you?
Like.
She was
the list of things that she was great at, because I think she's done radio stuff. I swear that at least the BBC might have adapted some of her sketches for radio. Sketch comedy, sitcom, stand-up, musical.
Yeah.
It's redonkulous.
Mm-hmm.
She was an absolute trendsetter. And it's one of those things when you get that sexy comment that women aren't funny. And you just like...
That was...
Victoria Wood might
drop,
I heard that. Fuck off. You know what I mean?
I remember at school, like, so the comedy I used to watch, like when I was 13, 14, it was French and Saunders and it was Victoria Wood. And that was my comedy. That's what I found funny. That's what I had most comedic affinity with, and definitely shaped kind of my comedic sensibility growing up, and even now. And I just remember some kid when I was about 14 turning around to me in school and going, yeah, but women aren't funny. And I'd never heard that comment before. And I think I just looked at him, and then he eventually walked away because I was like, I've just been laughing like last night at French and Saunders until I hyperventilated.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God. Those
my God.
I'd never heard it in person, like an actual person saying it, and then the morning after me and Hannah did a 4 a.m. improv show in London, I went to BBC
5
Leicester.
a.m.
Sorry, 5 a.m. I was in BBC Leicester at 10 a.m. doing like a walk-in, tell a story, and we'll see if you're fun for radio.
Oh shit! I forgot you did that straight after.
And I didn't get through because I was massively asleep. And
they went, slept in my car.
They went. You got a perfect voice, but you don't seem into it. And I went, to be fair, I've not slept, and that's entirely my fault. But someone in the waiting room who went in before me, who was in the line before me, was talking. He's like, "Well, I'm like contributor to stand up here and there. So I think that'll be great." And he was chatting to someone about the comedy scene. He went, "Well, I don't think there's any really funny female comedians because all they do is talk about boobs and periods." I was there going, "You've just described like replace boobs and periods with wanking, and you've replaced like that's 75% of all men comedians. So shut up for a start." But it was so annoying listening to this prick just be like, "Nah, all women comedians talk about like their vaginas." You're like, you've proven already that you are A, not funny, and B, don't watch enough comedy.
I was going to say that it proves that you don't watch any comedy, because if you did, then you wouldn't think that. Yeah, exactly.
But he went out before me. He went in and came out very angry, and I was very happy. Very, very.
You got to like settle the room after that energy.
Oh, it's why someone mentioned the pointlessly tall building in London, for fuck's sake.
Guys, we have told you, do not talk about the Shard. In the chat, you know how he gets.
And despite the earlier politics chat, the area where Adam and I will really fall out is over the Shard, not over politics. So,
I don't even know why I hate it. I don't even know. Right?
Woody, you should have seen him. Like, I've never seen a person more possessed with hatred. And it was 5:30 in the morning.
Arguments over the Shard. That's cutting edge.
Have you ever been to the viewing deck there?
Do you know, it's the one place in London.
We've only been to the foot of the.
I think I would love the viewing. I think I'd love it because it's the one place in London when the view isn't fucking ruined.
You can't see the.
You can't see. It's like the guy that used to have all his meals in the restaurant on top of the Eiffel Tower because then he couldn't see the Eiffel Tower.
Wasn't that someone famous?
That's you. That's going to be you.
Wasn't that someone famous? I swear it was.
Was it like Hemingway or something like that?
Yeah, it was something like that. You're looking it up now. I can tell because the light on your face has changed and you've changed browser tab.
Oh, you just got Sherlock.
I'm not even going to pretend. Restaurant on the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
I see 12.
Oh.
Spoil the view.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was Jules Verne. No, it wasn't.
Oh.
Ignore me. Carry on. Just in the meantime.
Jonty's saying Guy de Maupassant.
That makes more sense. Sorry, my brain just in the meantime sing.
Did you go round the menu in 80 courses?
Michael!
Fucking. Ooh.
I feel there wasn't enough respect given to his cutting edge comment.
That was beautiful.
But, you know what I mean? It's worrying.
He's a light.
Quite a big light. It's quite deep. My internet is giving up. my internet's giving off quite a big delay tonight. So as I said, the punchline, there was a solid 3-second wait.
You have got.
You are a bit laggy.
Yeah, Mikey, your internet is worse than Adam's when he was on his phone.
No, that's. I'm annoyed at that because I was told this vaccination would give me better 4G, and it clearly didn't.
That was the joke he tried to tell, and it didn't work.
I know. I wasn't sure if you heard it earlier.
Adam?
No.
Adam, is your phone on 4G? Because the vaccination gives you 5G, but if your phone is not 5G compatible, then it won't be any better.
Yeah, Adam.
Some shit.
Yeah, Adam.
Lloydie, who's number 4?
No, I've done them all now.
Have you done them all?
Done them, yeah.
I did them all. What do you want me to invent some more?
Yes.
I want more happiness. I want more unbridled happiness from everyone. Who's the nicest person you've met, Dave?
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously Rob Kemp. Rob Kemp is the nicest person in the world.
Rob Kemp is a lovely
yeah, same.
I haven't met loads and loads of famous people, to be fair.
Who was the prickiest, though?
Come back to me. Let me have a think.
All right. Okay.
I met the Queen of Denmark once.
Were you in Hamlet at the time?
No.
Were you in a Hamlet at the time?
Yeah.
Were you smoking Hamlet at the time? I mean,
I wish I was.
Did you?
No.
You met the Queen of Denmark.
Accidentally, in a way. Yeah. Yeah. So when I was working at the Royal Academy.
Oh yeah. Okay. I already understand, and this is fine.
Yeah. No. Well. So I used to. My job was looking after the
sentence I've ever heard.
Yeah, so my job was looking after the corporate members, and so I used to have to go in early and be there to greet. They used to do like private views in the morning, so like from 7:30 until 9, they could like part of their like package of benefits for giving us money was like some of their staff could come and look at the exhibitions before they opened, so it was quieter. So I used to have to go in at like 6 a.m. on the train, like a little idiot, and be there for the private view. And so we had one booked in for one of our corporate members, and then some of the curatorials team came and said, "Oh, we've got somebody coming on like Tuesday or whatever, so we need to like have them view the exhibition." And we were like, "Oh, we've got like Deutsche Bank in, and they're quite important." I don't think it was Deutsche Bank; it was some, thing. And they were like, "Oh, it's fine. We'll just, there's not many people going to be there. We'll just do it like at this particular." So we arranged it so that it would all work together. So I was there waiting for my corporate members to come in, and the Queen of Denmark came with 2 of her like ladies in waiting and all these like Secret Service men in suits. They came in first and like came into the foyer like and stood in the corners, and she was really chill. She was really cool. If you know about the Queen of Denmark, is like she's not like a proper queen. She's just like a hey, let's all have fun here kind of queen.
It's only Denmark.
Yeah, it's like the two of the like head curators came to greet her, and they sort of tried to do a sort of curtsy thing, and me and I was just kind of stood behind my little table like, well, I'm not curtsying. Nobody's told me to curtsy. She's not my queen. I wouldn't curtsy for my queen. I'm not curtsying. What the fuck is this? It's not the 19th century. I'm gonna stand here. So I did, and it was fine. She didn't give a shit because she's like a chill queen.
She's like the queen on Toy Day.
Yeah, she's like an artsy queen. I think she like writes books and shit. She's like, I think she's giving up her throne. She's like a cool queen.
Cool queen.
So she's like fully like embedded in the arts and
she's like I think she did. I'm pretty sure she did like a translation of Lord of the Rings into Danish or something. Like, she's really.
What's her opinion on improv?
Could you point to her on the improv map, please? Where is she?
Somewhere, I don't know. Like it's somewhere in the middle.
But just kind of here. She's here.
Yeah, just kind of floating in the kind of red area. Yeah. But she seemed really nice from what I saw of her as she walked past me.
I've got answers now to who's the worst celebrity I've met and the nicest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go on.
Now, DJ Science Juice, you need to open up your web browser of choice and type in these two words: Rod, R-O-D, and Hull. H-U-double-L. Rod Hull.
Did you meet Rod Hull?
I met
and
Rod
Emu?
Hull. And no.
With or without Emu?
Without Emu.
Sans Emu, okay.
No one cares.
Rod Hull was an absolute cunt. Like, we were...
I wasn't expecting that. Jesus Christ.
We were like 8 years old.
Oh, he comes across as one though.
Yeah, we were like 8 years old. So at the time, we're all watching Rod Hull on TV.
Yeah.
So we went to, it was one of the parks in Birmingham, and he was there filming the show. So all of us as 8-year-olds were like, it's Rod Hull, it's Rod Hull, ah! And don't forget, we're the reason the guy's got a career. Yeah. So we went over to him. He was an absolute arse. He was like pushing the kids away.
Oh God!
He made a couple of kids cry. He was horrendous. And I remember as an 8-year-old thinking, you've only got... I was such a... What do you mean I was such a communist? I'm still a communist. 8 years old, I was there thinking, you've only got that money because of us, and look at the way
you were about to seize the means of production and kidnap his bird and like...
He was...
I mean, at least the communists have fewer MPs than the Liberal Democrats. So, you know.
Lloydie wins!
Oh no!
Yes.
Hannah just said in the chat, which is true. Like there was a real phase of like famous puppet, like people with puppets and like ventriloquist dummies, weren't there? Like I find them terrifying.
Interviewers.
Yeah, because you had like Keith Harrison Orville around the same time.
Orville, yeah.
You know what that is? I think we can call that the 1970s.
No, but it wasn't, because I remember when I was little, there was like a lot of puppetry
You're
based.
thinking of Ed the Duck and Roland Rat and all that
Ed the
nonsense.
Duck, Gordon the Gopher.
Yeah.
You know.
Roland Rat.
Okay, so
Yeah.
DJ Science Juicer says we have Sesame Street. We had Sesame Street as well. We imported that over. And Mr. Rogers. Well, to give you an idea, Rod Hall behaving like that would have been like you meeting Mr. Rogers and him just like backslapping you. He kind of felt like that.
I can imagine that.
So as a little kid, it really did affect.
Rogers would never do that. Sit down.
And then the nicest celebrity I've met is a footballer, and he's a person who's done some really nasty things in his life, and a particularly nasty thing. I'll explain.
Wait, let me guess who it was.
Can I?
Maradona.
Eric Cantona.
Didn't Eric Cantona kick that man in the head or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
Joey Bob.
Dwight York. So Dwight York used to play for Aston Villa. Yeah,
He did.
Right.
we were doing some filming at the Villa ground on the same day. So okay, imagine there's a guy doing the interview, there's the guy on sound, and there's me, who my entire job is basically to hold the tripod, right? And I don't know if you know anything about tripods. They're pretty good at staying upright on their own, right?
They're kind of designed for that.
Yeah. I was kind of surplus to requirements, but whatever. I was getting paid. It's fine. So we're filming the different players being interviewed. Gareth Southgate was an absolute cock, and to this day I despise him because of the way he treated us on that day. He talked down to us. He was rude. He was just like.
It's one of those, right? Like, how you can tell what somebody's like from how they treat the waiter or something like that.
Yeah, because I am the tripod for the tripod, right? I'm the lowest of the low. So it's
tripod wrangler.
Dwight York came out for his interview. He asked us all, he introduced himself to us, and you are. He got talking to us without the camera rolling, asking us about our day, how we was getting on, did the interview, did a lovely interview, afterwards shook all our hands, greeted us by name again, and he was just a genuinely nice person. Then he went and married, was it Katie Price?
Yeah.
And she had his son, who's got lots of disabilities, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, I remember.
And then disowned his disabled son.
Oh shit, really?
And it was like,
Oh, what?
but I thought you were really nice.
I thought that rather than disowning them, I thought that he admitted to being unfaithful during their relationship, and so she was like, "I don't really want you around the sun." I thought that was it.
Oh, I don't know.
Either way,
bad
things occur.
Yeah. And I genuinely thought he was a really nice person, and then that happened. And it's like, oh, actually, maybe you're a bit of a cock.
Soured your anecdote, that did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks, Dwight.
I mean, anecdote ruiners are the worst, aren't they?
The worst.
They are, aren't they? Absolutely the worst. DJ Science Juicer says, how long does the show typically last? I think he means the show. And basically, when we get bored. We're coming to the end, you're all right. John T has also put, sadly, mine's in a similar but much worse vein, Rolf Harris.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
No.
And that is and that has been it's obviously there are the greater sadnesses attached to it, but obviously, when you have your childhood idols suddenly exposed as, for whatever reason, as being way less wholesome as they ought to be, it's horrid, because that was part of your growing up.
Yeah.
We can't end it there.
No, we can't. Not we will.
No, so that's why I put all of my faith in Bob Ross, because that guy was like a jewel in
Bob Ross is like mindfulness in an afro.
Yeah. I put it on because it's on BBC 4 in the evening. So sometimes, hi, this is me, Hannah Platts, the most middle-class person ever. Sometimes when I'm eating my dinner, I put Bob Ross on BBC 4 on the little, so I could just watch a bit of Bob while I eat my food.
How did that comment not get a laugh? Bob Ross is like mindfulness in an afro.
Because it's not wrong.
Because it's so true.
No, it's not wrong. It's perfect.
He hated that afro.
Did he?
He really did like that. Yeah, he only kept it because it was by the end it was his brand, and he wasn't a big fan of it at all. But I think it makes him look like a paintbrush, and that makes me happy.
My favourite episodes are the ones where he suddenly produces a baby squirrel out of his pocket, like, I rescued this guy, because he had a little squirrel rescue, and he would get them and nurse them back to health and then set them free.
No, I don't like the thought of Bob Ross being sad.
Being what?
Being sad.
Being sad.
No, he was never sad. That's the point. Gets his little squirrel.
Well, he didn't like his afro and had to keep it because the system is fucked.
Can we just appreciate the little debate going on in the chat where John T is trying to tell people that Connie Huck and Charlie Brooker are married, and and they are the weirdest couple ever. Not as in they don't suit, but as in that they are.
But then when you see them together, you're like, oh, that makes sense.
People. They're really weird, and they have Richard Herring does interviews with the pair of them, and you'd think of the two, Charlie Brooker would be the one you're like, what is going? No, Connie Huck's brain just works differently. It's excellent. it's just going. This isn't very Blue Peter of you, Connie.
Yeah, I like her.
She writes great kids' books.
Yeah.
I want a Blue Peter badge. I never got one.
I never got one.
I think that's worth bringing up is what DJ Science Juice has just put into the chat. He did ask it earlier, actually, and we got kind of distracted.
That doesn't sound like us.
Is there a general consensus that Americans sound unintelligent? I'll be honest, there isn't. No, we don't think that at all. I can say that with some certainty. you get that kind of very broadly, and I'm aware that you're in Texas, that southern states sort of.
Yeah. Do you know how America looks at Florida? That's kind of how the world looks at America.
There you go.
But not all of America.
It's like,
I think
actually,
yeah,
because it's so disparate.
Which are similarly isn't dissimilar. I think, Dave, you might have opinions on this. How the rest of Britain looks at the Black country.
Yeah. So where me and Mike come from, every so often they'll do a questionnaire of about 4 people in London going, what's the worst accent in the country? And they'll always go Liverpudlian and Brummie, and even though we're not Brummie, they mean us as well. They always lump us in with Birmingham. And you know what that is? Prejudice. That's what that is.
Yeah, and I don't get it because I love your accent. I just think the Black country accent is so like rich. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, putting my poetry hat on for a second, like I ever take it off. Accents and dialect is just, it's brilliant. I love hearing different accents. The one I really turn my nose up is received pronunciation, just because you hear it all the time. And it doesn't feel real. It feels like you've gone to a school that's taught you to speak like this.
I don't understand what you're saying, David. This is exactly how normal people sound.
I mean, this is just how one converses, isn't it?
This is how the word is meant to
This is how I say everything. Especially when I'm waiting for a train on a platform. You love me.
JS Rock has just put, to think the world thinks we are Florida hurts my soul. We don't think you're Florida. I don't think Florida's Florida, to be fair.
Just as you know that not all Florida is like people on boat planes going around a swamp. just how, what are they called? The fan boat.
Fan boats.
Thanks.
Fan boats.
Just how you know that's not all Florida, we know that's not all America. So
yeah, and I think because like, to us, like, America is unfathomably huge.
It's fucking big.
Yes.
Like, the areas of America are, like, so different to each other that, like, it's insane. Do you know what I mean? Like, people from Bradford and people from Bedford are quite different, but they're, like, an hour away on the M1. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, in America, you've got that, but, like bigger than you can really picture. Yeah. So...
I can drive tip to tip in Texas for 8 hours and still be in Texas.
Right? You could do like
too big.
Yeah. Well, I would be halfway to the Highlands if I did 8 hours of driving.
So if you started in Land's End, it's 850 miles, isn't it, to John O'Groats?
So it's about 14 hours driving.
Yeah.
But that's that's 2 countries.
Yeah.
Also,
I'd be in Pitlochry easy in 8 hours.
When you put it like that, it's amazing the number of accents and dialects we have got.
Oh, it's very, it is like diverse, isn't it? Yeah. I love accents.
So.
Like, I even get really geeky about it.
Can vary from village to village as well. Like neighbouring villages can have different accents, which I think is fantastic. Yeah. And although
because where I'm from, Colville, the accent's completely different to Leicester, and it's like 20 minutes away, but it's completely, obviously my accent isn't indicative of that because it's a mishmash of a million different ones. But like, it's completely different to Leicester. If you try and like listen to an actual Leicester accent, it's really weird.
Yeah, I mean, my accent's a complete mishmash because of different places I've lived. Because my parents are from the West Midlands, like outskirts of Birmingham. But I grew up in East Sussex. But then I've lived in like London and Bristol, and then in Nottingham for like 12 years. So like my brother rips it out of me for some of the words that I say because he's like, "Why are you saying that for?" I'm like, that's how I speak now because I've been surrounded with people that speak like that for a very long time.
Yeah.
So I've got a messed up voice.
I was just saying the other day that I only sound like I'm from round here when I get angry, and then I said something really impassioned, and my friend was like, "Oh, wait a second!" Like a bit of the Midlands came out, and like caught it in a net. It was really funny.
Here's one, folks.
It's Dudley.
can we just go around in a circle? So I'll start, and then we'll do Mikey, then Hannah, then Lloydie, then Adam, right? Say the word bath.
Okay, right.
So,
okay.
bath. Mikey?
Bath.
Hannah?
I say bath. I know you don't believe me, but I do.
Lloydie?
Okay, here we go. Bath.
Adam?
Bath. The town, the city is Bath, but you go for a bath.
Okay.
I've never heard them pronounced differently before.
Apparently, there's a line across the country which cuts through South Birmingham. And above the line, people say bath, grass, that sort of thing. Below the line, they say bath, grass.
It's that A vowel that comes out in my accent. I know that, like, when I lived in, like, Surrey, I'd be talking to someone and then I'd realise that they'd, like, stopped listening to what I'd said. And I was like, is there and they'd be like, masterclass. That's what you just said then. And I'd be like, yes, I'm not from round here. Anyway.
Then again, do you say plasterer or plasterer?
Plasterer.
See, I say plasterer, and I don't know why. It's as if English language is 3 different languages in a trench coat.
See, I say plasterer, but I will also say, it's 3:15, whereas I used to say 3:15. Yeah. I'll say past, not past. It's really weird the things that I've picked up since, really, in the last 12 years since I lived here. And actually, it's
calling everyone.
So that again, Mike, you've completely broke up. Then
cut out. Yeah,
just going around calling everyone duck.
Yeah.
I don't say me duck. I will say "a up" now. When I see people, I'll be "a up." Right, because I'd never have said before.
Hundy P say that,
Yeah, Hundy P say that, yeah. But the vowel that's changed for me is "you." So thanks very much rather than much. Which is very East Midlands.
Yeah.
The one that my friends pick me up on is done. I say like done instead of done. Like, well done.
So
well done.
The person I was engaged to for like 5 years.
That is blown my mind.
So Kira pronounced book and buck as the same sound. So as in, I'm reading a book about bucks. Would be I'm reading a book about books, but it wasn't. It was like the vowel sound was somewhere in between the two. The same as look and luck. It was exactly the same vowel sign, but it's like a mix. It was so. I've never heard anyone apart from her family. I've heard no one else ever say it, and it was a totally unique vowel sound, perfectly in the middle.
JS Rock is confused by the phrase "I up me duck." It is a greeting popular in the East Midlands of England, where some of us reside.
And it's got nothing to do with actual ducks, although these days people pretend that it does. But it actually dates back to the word dukas, which it's how do you do, my duke? It's a term of respect. So it's like saying how do you do, sir? But "a up me duck" is how we say it in the East Mids.
Yeah.
When
facts with the lady.
My favourite accent was when we was in Seattle. I was talking to someone else who'd moved out there who was from the Black Country, and we were talking Black Country for the Americans.
Oh my god!
And she looks at me and went, "Them buy windows, buy they?"
That's my favourite. I was going to ask you to say that one.
Nah, they buy. What is Black Country? Black Country. There's. You know what? What is Black Country? Is probably a show of its own, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's basically an area of the UK. Where is it? You ask 1 million people, you'll get 1 million different answers. But it's basically Dudley, Gornal, that sort of. It's the centre of the UK.
Outside of Birmingham.
It's in the middle. It's called the Black Country because the name originated in the early 19th century, and it was came about due to the huge number of factories that were there billowing out black smoke, and also because it was where a lot of good coal was found as well.
Yes.
Despite, because I only specify that because I've had so many people on Twitter whenever I mention the Black Country be like, "You can't call it the Black Country because of links to." Shut up! Shut up!
About the coal.
The Black Country's got a great heritage in that, we provided Victorian England with its wealth, but that wealth came out the ground from the exploitation of the working classes and through slavery.
Well, that's true.
There's actually I've got a video on my YouTube channel actually about the fact that I changed 2 words in one of my poems from the Black Boy pub to the Bull Steak pub.
I watched that the other day. It's very good.
Because
very good.
There used to be places called the Black Boy pub, and people aren't sure where the name comes from, but some people think it's racial and it's to do with slavery, and others to do with the fact that we used to send children down coal mines.
Right.
So we used to send like 6-7-year-olds down a coal mine. And then when they came up to the surface, they obviously were covered in coal dust.
God, if you grow up with Welsh family, as I did, you get forced to read Alexander Cordell, and then you just have to cry about the children. Young Cydwin Hughes got taken by the chest, Dave, and I can't ever get over it.
He was too young. He was just too weak, and he slipped away in the night.
He carried a limp body into the furnace to try and warm it up, but she'd already too far gone.
Look, I know we're constantly looking for endpoints tonight, but like, I want to have an untroubled sleep. And unfortunately,
don't worry, Tiny Nathan.
No, we can do this.
Unfortunately, given our country's past,
Lloydie, look how I feel.
Don't worry, Tiny David. Don't worry. We've got more stone soup for you. Hey! Yay! Yay!
Right, so JS Rock has also suggested that we do a show where we tell some spooky stories from the UK.
Yes, spooky stories.
I can tell my favourite bit of Shropshire folklore.
Ooh.
And it's I read it in I read it in the Fortean Times.
Nice.
And it is.
Still going?
Yeah, it's still going, and
God, it's still going.
So shit.
Oh God, it's still going.
Mwah.
Okay.
oh my God.
Yeah, let's do a spooky episode.
Oh, I can tell the story about when I went
the 14 times just for that.
Oh.
What was that, Lloydie?
I could tell the story about when I went on a ghost hunt in Washington, D.C. with the Hemsworth brothers. And no, that's not true. Didn't do that. I'll just watch.
You know what?
The Russian doll is getting like...
You absolutely had me convinced then.
I was like, tell me more. Which ones? The one that's not famous?
If I had gone on a ghost hunt with the Hemsworth brothers, I would never stop talking about
that would be story 1.
Ever.
But you say that. I've got a mate called Charlie who's like 60-ish, late 60s, and I've known him for 25 years.
From the Rolling Stones.
It wasn't him. I'd known him for 25 years when he said in a conversation, so when I was doing that gig with David Bowie,
that's one of those moments where you're like, stop.
Yeah.
Rewind.
Yeah.
Come on again.
Yeah. Good. Turns out, and it must have been the Hunky Dory tour, David Bowie had come to Wolverhampton, had played at the Civic Hall in Wolverhampton. My mate Chaz was at the Bull Inn, which is closed down, not surprisingly, DJing, and Chaz is one of the best DJs ever. He'll play 50 songs, you won't know any of them, and they'll all be amazing. Right? He's
nice.
Just brilliant. You should get him on the radio, actually, Lloydie. He's amazing. And David Bowie had come down to the pub after his gig, And he went up to Chaz and went, I really like what you're doing. Can I do some things? And Chaz was like, yeah, all right. And he started doing like improvised dance and spoken word over the music Chaz was playing. And he waited 25 years before he... Like, I would introduce myself with... Hi, my name's Dave. I've gigged with David Bowie, you know.
I would get someone to make me a T-shirt with like an artist's impression of it happening, and I would wear it every day and be like, "What this? Let me tell you, that's me there, and that's David Bowie." And like, fuck.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Incredible.
I love Bowie.
Did you ever meet David Bowie, Lloydie?
No, I think I've kind of like it's kind of taken the shine off the fact that I never managed that really.
No, let's not think about that.
You met the Bowie of our times, because that's what I call Timberlake.
Oh yeah, but
I thought you was going to say that's what I call Paul McKenna.
That's what I call Victoria Wood. So
he's the Bowie of hypnotism.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah,
he is.
The Bowie of hypnotism. He should have that on the poster. Next time you bump into him, tell him to put that on.
You're like, Paul, just draw a little.
Yeah. but so it doesn't interfere with trademark. It's Biro.
He could just have a he could just be a spiral. I'm tired. We've been going on for 2 hours. What the fuck are we doing?
It's because Lloydie's been just firing off enough stories. Be like,
because it's like babushka doll. It's been like a beautiful.
I would go as far as to suggest this might be the best episode we've ever done. I don't know. I just sort of feel
it's up there. It's definitely up there.
Controversial.
Those are brave words there, Mikey.
I have really bad memory.
So... I like to live on the edge. Mostly a curve.
But it feels like a real good one.
It does. Thank you, everyone. And can we have a massive round of applause for Lloydie?
Yay!
Of course we can.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
No,
Lloydie, what do you want to plug? Lloydie,
You've got to do your plug.
Do the plugs.
Okay. Firstly, this is like I love watching this show, and so to be on it was like a real excitement for me.
Yay.
I have a podcast. If you are, it's really mainly if you are interested in improvisation or improv generally. It's called the Improv Chronicle podcast. If you go to improvchronicle.com, you can listen to episodes. You can join the newsletter, which comes out every 2 weeks, where I ramble about stuff.
It's good. It's interesting.
Why, thank you very much. Thank you. And that's what I do. And horrifically name drop.
Which is what we love.
We
The thing is,
we love
that's why
I'm gonna have to clear all of these up.
You just that's so heavy.
Can you please also give our love to Yoda?
Yes, please.
Yeah, he's asleep on the windowsill.
Yeah.
Yoda isn't a cat, by the way. He's my boyfriend, and he sleeps. I won't have him in the bedroom. He sleeps on the windowsill.
Have a little sleep.
Lloydie, is the link for your podcast improvchronicle.com?
Yeah.
Lloydie, that link has gone into our chat from Texas.
What?
From Texas, Lloydie. From Texas.
All the way across the internet.
Oh.
All the way.
Texas.
We have the best chat. There ain't a lot of them, but by God, we love them.
Oh.
Lovely bunch.
Hasn't this been
This has been lovely.
It's been delightful.
I apologise again for my tardiness.
That was
you were getting your science
for a good
juice.
reason.
And it's very important. You can wait 3 weeks and then you can lick people's faces.
Yeah, I'm getting my second dose on Friday. I'm really excited.
How are you getting your second already?
Because I'm clinically vulnerable.
I'm
Don't want to brag,
having,
guys.
I'm having my seconds on Wednesday next week, so a week tomorrow, and I'm getting it because there was a clerical error at the clinical commissioning group, and they accidentally posted a link that they shouldn't have done. I clicked the link, booked on, and then they said, we shouldn't have posted that. We're really sorry, but we will honour all appointments. So,
oh my God, amazing.
I shouldn't have got it.
So you got it for efficient admin skills.
Yeah. I'd set up the right Twitter alerts, hadn't I? So,
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for my second jab. Adam,
they
was this your second
forward,
or
so
your
they
first?
might bring yours forward.
This is my first. It was a walk-in.
But my second jab is due on the week when I have to do jury duty.
You got jury duty? Oh, you jammy git. I've always wanted to be on a jury. I think I'd be great. I want to solve crime.
If it's like politics, though, that if you want to do it, you're the wrong person for the job.
Yeah, I think I would be immediately dismissed because I'd walk in like dressed like Sherlock Holmes, like, right, give me the fucking clues. I'm here. I'm gonna do this shit, and they'd be like, "No, get out."
They'd turn around and you'd have got like a corkboard with red string and notes on the back wall of the courthouse.
Yeah.
I have solved it. It's not about a murder.
I'd be like, I need another pencil. This one's run out.
This is civil forgery, and that's who killed Diana.
I'd be like the one standing up in the room to like make speeches to the other jurors, like, is it not true, my fellow citizens, that we are the bastions of justice? And they would immediately ask me to leave. Like, yeah, there's no way I would get in because I'd be too excited.
In 4 days, please let me go home.
I've watched so much Criminal Minds. I know what is going on here. Like,
there's all sorts going on here.
If I get called up, because there's a lot of silences, and I'm prone to hiccups.
Wait a second. Guess who's in the chat, everyone? It's only bloody Steph Loftus.
Steph Loftus is in the chat.
You bunch of crumpet holes.
Hi, Steph, we love you.
I was going to say, we've also had to explain what the phrase jammy git means.
Oh, really?
It is odd that you think these things wouldn't be lost in translation, but then you realise that it is when you just break it down, it's quite a weird phrase.
Do not apologise for questions, DJ Science Juice. It's.
Do you tell all your friends about this in Texas, DJ Science Juice? Because
could you imagine if we end up with a massive following in Texas? We're like, you know, like David Hasselhoff can't get a gig anywhere but Germany. It'll be like that.
Yeah. But they'll all be watching like, I don't understand what any of these people are saying.
Do you remember 25 minutes ago we were finishing? Remember
that? No matter.
Let's end the show.
Oh yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Listen to Lloyd's podcast. What was he called? Improv Chronicle.
Improvchronicle.com.
Okay.
There you go.
It's very good.
It is very, very good.
We'll be back next week. We are doing a show at the same time next week, but I can't remember what we're doing. Is it stories?
It's stories next week because it's 1st of June, isn't it?
Oh, it's the 1st of June, so it'll be stories.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much for coming, Lloydie. Again,
thank you
for having me.
Brilliant. And
thanks, chat.
Thanks, chat. Thanks, Texas. Thanks, Steph. Thanks, everyone. You've all been wonderful. John T, you've just all been great. Everyone's just superb. I love you all.
Lovely.
I'm gonna cry now. Let's end the stream. So, bye, everyone.
Bye.